supposed to be there. I went in to get my, you know how you feel naked without your phone. I figured I'd go into my locker and get my phone. Call Nikki. I knew a girl named Nikki, I guess you could call her a sex fiend. Met her in a hotel lobby, masquerading in a, I don't know. I'm not perfect, I'm a man, you know. Imagine being married and not being able to. This is my Myra. Beautiful, right? It's been 3 years since. Don't judge me. Myra was out on her morning jog. She had let me sleep in because it was my day off, you know? And I don't know what it was. I just sprung up. It was 6:30 in the morning. She normally got back at 6:15, and she would get back and take a shower and get back in the bed wearing next to nothing. And I missed that. I mean, she could have wore anything, but it was the warmth, the fresh scent, the comfort. Yeah, that's what it was. Every day off. And I went to the kitchen. I don't know why. I can't cook. I burn toast on the lowest setting. And I mean, barely awake. I mean, uber groggy. You know how you look in the refrigerator right over the egg carton talking about where the eggs? Yeah, I was messed up. And I turned on the TV. Now, I never do that in the morning, but what caught my eye was the news cameras were showing my block right down the street. Where is she?
Apparently a car jumped the curb.
Just a minute. I'm coming, I said.
It's getting out of control. DODSON! Hit a pole, killing the driver instantly. DODSON, come quick! Sources say a woman jogging through the park is hid between the pole and the car. She's breathing heavily. Paramedics at the scene have no idea how she was alive. Firemen are frantically cutting through the frame of the vehicle. Wait, this just in. The woman is speaking. She repeats one word. DODSON.
Myra was an artist. Collage was her specialty. She would meticulously cut paper out of magazines, newspapers, popsicle wrappers, and she would fit them together like puzzles. Except it had layers so that the colors from underneath would bleed through to the top. That's what she would say. And the pieces would look like photographs when she got done. And then you would walk up real close to it, and you could see where she had pasted things really close together. It would take her 8 months to a year to finish one piece. That's what she called them. I just called them paintings, brushstrokes out of paper. She did a nude once. 2 figures, a male and a female. She patterned the male after me. I posed for it once on my day off.
Honey, relax.
I've never done anything like this before.
Don't be nervous.
That's easy for you to say. You're fully clothed.
You're beautiful.
You're not as beautiful as you.
Would it make you feel more comfortable if I...
A smile as bright as the sun's golden rays, eyes that pierce your soul with their innocent gaze, her radiance aglow, and her presence does match. Her spirit sparks reflection She supports me with the strength of her loving arms, and my heart will to her always belong, because she's beautiful. She's beautiful, you see. Her love's unusual. It makes me feel so free. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I can see. Who'd have thought a kid from the slums who never knew his parents, never became a ward of the state, who'd have thought that kid would get so lucky? I was a demon. I didn't have a foul mouth, but imagine feeling worthless 24/7, stealing everything you needed to eat, to have clothes, shoes, rotating from sleeping at the bus terminal to the train station to hospital emergency room lobbies every week, or just walking the streets at night, all night. Now, imagine that is your reality and you're 6 years old. Ain't trust nobody. You gotta keep moving. Anybody asks any questions, run. What? It was hysterical. Every time I walked past Mr. Walt's TV repair shop, I would see commercials, and they would make them look so good with the gooey caramel stretching across the screen and the roasted peanuts and the milk chocolate. It was temptation in its highest form. And I hadn't eaten in 3 days. So I enjoyed it. Every single bite. I was off in a fantasy land of taste. Get away from me. Get away from me. Who are you?
On the contrary, the question is, who are you?
You ever have a situation where everything about it seemed dangerous, but you felt a sort of calm? Like your brain and your body were fighting for dominance? Yeah. But I felt that right then. And I know. I told myself to run, but I couldn't. Guilt cemented my feet in place. And the only thing that kept my bladder from releasing was there was nothing there. Shucks. Most of the Jamaicans I knew were hard. And there I was, in the alley, with one staring down at me.
Be quiet, little one. Easy.
He was Pastor. Pastor Dwight Johnson, the strangest cat I knew. He told me that God told him that his children needed someone to watch over them in the hood, and that's how he found me. Well, he was dressed in plain clothes, and he ain't have a Bible in his hands, and he ain't know. I had a shank. And Jesus wasn't saving this sinner tonight.
Brother, why do I always see you out at night, huh?
And I'm thinking, come on, get a little closer. Well, the shepherd going to need someone to watch over him in a minute. Get out your dancing shoes, because Jesus going to tango tonight. And then all of a sudden, this guy out of nowhere, well, he falls to his knees. His head was bowed and his lips were moving, but he said nothing. And I'm looking at this, and I mean, he really threw me off because I'm thinking, are you kidding me? You're gonna come down to my level, unarmed. I'm scared out of my mind, and I got the knife off. I don't know what it was about that song. It penetrated something deep down, and I heard a voice embedded in the tones. And I never heard that song before, not that I knew of. That night, I sang. And the words just flowed out of me like they had been locked up in storage, and someone discovered them after breaking the lock off.
Come, brother. God has so much in store for you.
That was the first time in my memory anybody ever cared for me. I spent 7 years growing up in the pastor's care. It was the first time I went to the doctor or the dentist. The first time I showered every day. First time I went to school. I hated it. Kids always picking on the new kid on the block. Yeah. The only good thing about school was that's where I met my man HIV. Yeah, hypnotic and tone pros, better known as hip hop. Well, Pastor Johnson raised me, but HIP was my ultimate instructor. Hey yo, breath control, spitting verbs in the wind, come in contact with my verse, the 8th deadly sin like war. People screaming, yo, what for? Overthrow the power whore, verse bomb, shock and all, boom, blip, bash words while MCs fall. Rhyme infantry can't get to or over the wall. Slip and slide in the blood, duck and hide, army crawl, dot dot ditty, dot dot dash, SOS, try and guess. I grip the microphone, hear what I express. Yes, live and in color, first sunshine and bright. The roughneck chicken's gonna win the cockfight. Hypnotic in tone, prose expression, cut, fight, tick, verse kills aggression straight up the dome. Rhyme is my home, yo. Built at the speed of thought, beats my life, afro not head, thick and taut. Spit walls, reinforce metaphor, brick bruh. Magic in melodic lines with what I taught. To prove misfits might mastermind makes brainiest. Tinsel lips, dip hits, wow, wow. But we go wow, wow, ears take sense, spontaneous. You know, reading and doing arithmetic was like dental surgery. But writing was a release. I mean, you had to pay attention to the words. How many definitions were there of them? And how were you bending them to your will? And how were you composing them against an opponent? I would spend hours in the dictionary. And then I found a thesaurus. Woo! Synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms all lined up for me to devour like a bag of Skittles. I remember this one time I was being picked with, right? Because although Pastor Johnson was a really good dude, he was living off of what, $20,000 a year? So I would get my clothes from thrift shops. You know, someone's old used Garanimal sets and tough skins and brocades. And that was if I was lucky. Most times on my feet, I wore boondoggles. Yup. That's what they called them back then. I was 2 decades early on Timbs. The other kids, well, they were wearing Eyes polo shirts, George Asher Sassoon jeans, and Nike and Adidas sneakers, which just made me stick out like the tongues of all the kids teasing me. I challenge any one of y'all to a rhyme battle. Any takers? See, hip-hop was new, but it was the coolest thing. I mean, MCs. I mean, true MCs that could flow, had lyrics and timing and punchlines Well, they were like superheroes. Besides, I wasn't physically fighting. I already went that route a few times. In fact, if I had got suspended this time, I was going to have to...
Why, brother? Why do you throw away your life so easily? Now, I'm afraid that if you're not going to change, I may have to send you to DHS, huh? To straighten you out, huh? Now look at me. The best way to win a fight is not have one. And the best way to not have one is to walk away.
Walk away. I spent most of my life walking on the streets, and most of that walking was out of fear. Usually the good pastor had the right ideas, but this time I was going to stand. I was going to stand and let my vocabulary fight for me. So I waited. And one kid stepped up. Carl Hamilton. Now, Carl, he had the school in the palm of his hands. He was good looking, he was charming, he was athletic. But his rhyme skills were corny. But he got a pass because we were 13, you know? But I made the decision that I not only needed to beat him, I needed to embarrass him.
Trying to battle me like climbing Mount Everest. You can't even see the top before you lay to rest. I'm the best of the best. Suggesting your competition. Sure, you must just close out a day. Can't pass a litmus test. Son of a preacher man, meet self-made man. Bow down, I'm your idol. Carl my title. Your rep I never say, formed to Hamilton, the epitaph on your grave.
Hey yo, rhyme for rhyme, dime for dime, choice cuts, what's the beef? T-bone or prime? My voice rings on the wind like a chime. Razor sharp formations of the alphabet. I have to get accurate and on point time after time. The Prince of Warriors speaks with the voice of many. I'd love to television, but I never won an Emmy. Lit line pockets with wisdom is good and plenty. Still kick the lyrical, high drama, spiritual, deep, dark, political, abstract, and literal commentary. I'll make it very simple to digest. My pen pressed to manifest truth. You will confess your sins.
It's not funny. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, I went off. I mean, I was just trying to show off my skill. But then at midnight, Jesus, keep me near the cross. There's a precious fountain, y'all, is free to all, a healing stream flows from Calvary's mountain. It was a small ceremony. Carl apparently was abandoned at birth too. Mom's was mentally ill. Pop's apparently a heroin addict, whereabouts unknown. The only difference between us was a doting grandmother who spoiled him. She wanted him to have the best of everything. But she didn't realize that outward image could be shattered. Still, none of us wanted to believe he would consider cutting his wind off.
The 315 Acela train is like drive on the track. He's actually ready for inspection. And thank you for taking in. All aboard!
So much for DHS. This was worse. Fork Union Military Academy. Now, instead of praying I don't get jacked on the streets, I was praying not to die from cafeteria food, calisthenics, and raking officers' bad breath. Far cry from Snickers for dinner. In the army of the Lord, I learned to love people. That love doesn't always spell things out. That measuring a man ain't about where he ends up, but about distance traveled. But the military institutes of a very different discipline. See, here it's about precision, execution. Be perfect at your task. You see, Carr, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. What you practice, you will permanently do. Perfect makes perfect. Now, I don't know why he drew out his S's like that. I think he thought it made him intimidating, but it was just funny to me. It was simplistic thought process. I mean, it had some merit, but the assumption was that everybody wanted to execute. Like nobody had flaws. And it didn't take into consideration the individual learning curves of everybody. It was the basic, crude duplication. But Sergeant Hayes wasn't to blame. He was just given what had been given to him. He had become the perfect military man. And he was looking to make this the same out of me. But after living alone on the streets, I knew too much about myself as an individual.
When I brought to you, I want you to tell me who you are, starting over here.
Sir, Cadet Anson Peterson, sir, medic.
Sir, Cadet Brett Williams, sir, aviation mechanic.
Sir, Cadet Roland Farnsworthy, sir, communications.
DODSON CARR. I'm a human being. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Silence! Cadet Peterson,
Yes, sir.
lead this company in drills.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Carr,
Yes, Sarge?
you stay here. How about this storm room clean from top to bottom? And when you're finished with that, clean the latrine. Do I make myself clear?
Sir! Yes, sir! Can you imagine serving in the military for over 25 years, obeying every order and never rising past the rank of sergeant? I guess your sense of humor gets eroded after a while. I mean, emotions have to be kept in airtight. And you're just a human doing basic, crude duplication. Like following the steps in an algebraic equation. You simplify and you try to strip away anything that can complicate solving the problem. The problem. The problem is that robots can do and do and do until their gears and circuits get warm. And even then they get maintenance. But we're talking about a man training countless kids, having them kids go off to the military, and then having those very same kids come back to the academy and whole rank over him. And most of them kids never saw combat, but you served in Vietnam. Now, imagine that you've been on meds since you back in the States. And that medicine is to control a neurological condition that you lied about on the school teaching application. And now let's imagine that the major above you, well, he's on the selection committee and he knows your secret. And he happens to be related to the pastor who just sent this kid who just disrespected you in front of a whole company of other kids. Now, how much would it take to set you off? Sergeant Hayes let loose at the graduation ceremony. 5 cadets and 3 parents bought it before they took him down. Sad. He was yelling, "The Gooks got a bomb! The Gooks got a bomb!" And we could see he wasn't all there, and he wasn't going to stop. Nope. They had to stop him. It was later released that he had stopped taking his meds about a week before. And there were rumors that he was unfocused, slightly off. But still, none of us wanted to believe that we could see this coming. Well, they offered us counseling. And it helps. Because trauma, it haunts you, follows you. Like the character Sam in the movie Ghost, you find yourself thinking about extra-dimensional, paranormal stuff, And it's a normal thing to wonder, to consider the other possibilities beyond this. So I go see this psychiatrist. And I mean, she's like, bang, pow! And she had these calves that bulged like she was a dime. I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't look forward to my sessions with her. I couldn't tell you the first thing we talked about. I think she was a hypnotist, not a psychiatrist. And she had this voice, imagine a woman with a speaking voice like Sade when she sings. Now, mind you, you're 18. And your only experience with women is getting homeless women off the streets with pastor or your crush on the church secretary. But now you're sitting on this comfortable couch with this woman with this low, raspy, but soothing voice asking you questions.
Hello.
And you look over and you're like, good God Almighty, but you can't say that, right? So you try to keep your cool, you check your lips for slobber, and you say, hi, my name is Coxon Dar. My name is Dar Coxon. My name is DODSON CARR.
Hello, Dodson. Would you like some water? It might help you to relax.
And I am off. Gone, seeing visions of us holding hands, picking apples, and eating a plate of pasta like Lady and the Tramp. And I don't know why I don't even like apples, and eating a plate of pasta like that is like drinking out of the same glass with 2 straws. Like you. But I'm off doing that stuff for 45 minutes. Just bliss. And then...
Well, that's enough for today.
And she sashays right out of the room. If I had been Superman, I would have used my heat vision to burn the door right off the hinges. Just nothing wrong with her at all. Well, I go back to her for 3 more weeks. All right, I requested it, but come on, beauty like that you don't see every day. And the rhythm in her voices, like, like sex on tape. But I was there live, and I knew, with my ability to rhyme, I knew I could hook her. I wrote this to try to express everything that's got me, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. Here goes. A beautiful pearl shone bright in the afternoon sky. The air was fresh, like a naughty girl spying on her parents after midnight. An embraceable day, and I don't know what happened, I just started singing. Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, the high grows tipsy in me. You and you alone bring out the gypsy in me. It wasn't planned, I swear, but she smiles. And she starts rubbing her legs together slowly. And she says,
Go on.
I love all the many charms about you. Above all, I want my arms around you. Don't be a naughty baby. Come to Papa do. My sweet embraceable you.
I see.
She says.
Would you excuse me for a moment?
It's your office, sure. And she sashays right out of the room. And I'm just sitting here for a while. And suddenly the silence gets so loud I can hear the clock hands ticking. And I see his face. Sergeant Hayes with that wild look in his eyes. And I swallow real hard. And I suddenly can't breathe. And I hear this noise. Yeah, I was off. So, I'm on my way to the hospital. Zooted out of my mind. Missed out on the possibility. I really didn't have a chance. But that little incident actually helped me out. I was declared a medical risk to serve in the armed forces. And while I was in the hospital, well, the whole world just goes crazy.
President George Bush has authorized airstrikes in Iraq, alleging that Saddam Hussein is a cruel dictator and a threat to the world with an unknown cache of weapons, including but not limited to semi-automatic guns, powerful landmines, and nuclear warheads. All U.S. military units are on high alert. In other news,
Wow, talk about your close calls. I had just signed up for selective service 3 months before. Now we're going to war. I didn't have to care. I was in the hospital loopy. I remember to entertain myself, I would count the rails on the hospital bed. And when that wasn't enough, I would play with the bed functions. Up and down. Up and down. It was fun. It's fun now, actually.
Well, Mr. Carr, we've done a complete evaluation CAT scan, and you'll be glad to know we ruled out blunt force trauma.
No, Doc, really?
Yes, well, we believe you suffer from PTSD.
PC laced with the P. Now, Doc, you know I ain't never took no hallucinogenic drugs, except for whatever you got me on.
I suppose I should come back when you're more lucid.
I suppose you should. I'm surprised I remember that much. Well, they sent me home after 3 weeks. And I ain't have no money. But the pastor, well, he felt bad because he put me in that position. So he calls his brother, a wealthy businessman, traded stocks and everything. Now, imagine that you show up at this huge mansion and you go in to introduce yourself, and as you do, you see this man sitting at a desk smoking a pipe, and he just starts writing out a check. A $500,000 check.
You're telling me you need a little break. Well, don't spend it in one place. And whatever you do, make sure you get a return on your investment.
Well, I never saw him again, but I took his advice. I took 100 grand of that money and I invested it. And then I started to traveling. I got into art, started a little collection, and you know, just kicked it for a few months. Then I decided to invest in myself. I had scored high enough on the ACT. I was in the top 5th percentile nationwide. And the Major Rollins, well, he was telling me I had the makings of a great pilot, strong in mind, athletic, and my aviation section on the military battery was near perfect. So I applied to the National Aviation Academy down in Clearwater, and I got in. I got down there about 2 weeks before I was supposed to start classes. And so I decided I would check out an art exhibit at the Dunedin Historical Museum. I was looking at some painting.
A man that likes cubism? Interesting.
I don't even know what cubism is. I just like the whoa. I thought Dr. Lane was beautiful, but this woman was stunning.
Cubism was Picasso's way of showing 3 dimensions on a 2-dimensional plane at the same time. Like painting in cross-sections or cubes.
I see, Mrs.
Miss Teller. Myra Teller.
DODSON, I say to her. DODSON CARR. Wow. The conversation started just like that. I didn't have to get fly with verses or manipulate her into sleeping with me, none of that. Well, time marches on, and she's teaching me all about painting, drawing, sculpture, and
An artist is a scientist who expresses herself creatively.
She would say to me, she was something. Well, we started dating while I was in aviation school, and in my senior year, she got the opportunity to have her own exhibit. The problem was no one wanted her to use their space. Well, by then, my money was long. So I purchased the space. An empty warehouse, really. Had enough space for an office and a studio.
Oh, Dodson, I love it. It's perfect.
An artist needs to have their own space. I felt strongly about that. She needed to be free to create. It's kind of like flying, you know, open, free. And the command of what happens is in your hands, and you intuitively navigate the elements like an artist navigates the canvas, clay, or whatever they're working on. So everything is set. The opening reception is coming up, and I'm not graduating for a few weeks. But then
You can't take the job after you graduate?
anything's possible, I guess.
You don't need the money.
It ain't about the money. I just want to.
Then what is it about, Dotson? You're talking about moving to Philadelphia on the day of my first solo exhibit.
I want to fly.
And I want you to. But why right now?
Now, imagine that right at that moment, you got to tell her you're going to be gone for a week and a half. I flew out the next morning. She was heartbroken. It made our relationship difficult, me being off like that. But when I got back, I found out that the exhibit went well. She had sold 15 out of 25 paintings. But some vandals had broken into the warehouse and smashed up the other 10. Well, she wasn't there. She was off running an errand somewhere. Wasn't the best time to, you know? We eventually did get married, and then we moved up here. And it took her 3 years to get back to doing her work. And that dude that I was telling y'all about was her first piece when she got back to work. And that's how we started our ritual on my days off. It doesn't matter now that she's in the hospital. I never wanted Nikki's number anyway. I just took it to be polite. To tell the truth, she turned me off. So, I'm trying to leave. I got my phone, I got my duffel bag, and I'm about to leave when Cliff, this other pilot, comes stumbling in. And, it wasn't unusual, to tell you the truth. Cliff was the most experienced of all of us. He had flown missions in the Gulf War, and he never flew without being a little buzzed. Of course, that wasn't known by the company brass. Wasn't known by the other pilots either. Nope, he only told me. Great. Well, let's put another weight on my already stressed shoulders. Well, he was afraid of heights. That's why he had to have a drink or two to take the edge off his inhibitions, getting high to get high. And the man flew over Baghdad, dropping bombs on targets, evading enemy aircraft at times, and then hot pursuing others, all with a flask of Mad Dog 2020 in his bed. Well, he comes this stumbling in, and he don't look good. And I don't mean drunk, I mean sickly. He was wiping this stuff out of his eyes, and his face was all puffy, and his skin was pale and clammy. Not to mention the embarrassing sounds that were coming from him. Smelled horrible. He asks me if I can take this flight for him. It's a short trip, he says, just up to Buffalo and back. No, I say, I'm off. And I felt bad, you know? Because the guy's turning into a squid right in front of me. But you gotta see it the way that I did. I just worked 3 straight weeks with no break. Trying to be a team player, you know? I don't know. I mean, all the other guys, they did more than their share filling in for me. But the airline, not so much. I mean, my wife, she had you know. And at first they were like, sure, take your time. Of course, you don't need to think about anything work-related right now. It's funny how people and corporations have a meter on how long you should feel things. I sat by my bedside for 3 days. Didn't eat nothing. Just sat there, quiet, praying, whispering to her. Wake up. Please, wake up. You have to fight for me. And then I get this phone call. Hello?
Hey, Dotson, are you ready to come back to work?
Oh, no, you thought you called me, but no, I can't come to the phone right now. However, if you leave a message after the beep, I'll be sure to get back to you.
You know, we had to lay 4 of our pilots off. Budget cuts due to increased expenditures on fuel. A long story. Anyway, we saved your job. But to justify saving it, you have to come back to work tomorrow.
And so I go in.
It's a 22.9% cut in pay. Pension is cut by 25%. Sick leave is unpaid after 2 days. And you have to pay 35% in copay on medical expenses for your spouse or anyone other than yourself in the household.
But how am I, what am I supposed to do? Imagine that. Time marches on. I only feel at home when I'm flying. There's something about the sky, serene, and your mind can wander off. I see her face, Myra's, and I go back to when I was sleeping in. And she comes in, she takes a shower, and she gets in bed right behind me, and I feel the warmth of her body pressed up against my back. I feel her arms enfold me, and I feel her breath grazing my shoulder blades, and I am in sanctuary. You are my friend. I never knew it till then. My friend. Love. Days rush by like bullet trains. I'm flying all the time, and I try to get to see Myra on any day that I have off, which isn't often, because now with the cut in pay, I gotta save the money necessary to keep up with the medical expenses, because after 3 months, all that I had saved before was gone.
Mr. Carr, I think you should consider letting her go.
Take her
Off the machines. Yes.
off?
Off, yes. Mr. Carr,
Dotson, it's been 3 years. She's not improving. You haven't been around, and her father.
Her father doesn't even know her! Father just started coming around for 3 years ago. Her father. Man left her, Myra's mother before she went into labor. He just started coming around here because he saw on the news that she had gotten a $50,000 fellowship for painting. The very first time he came to the hospital, the very first day, he come talking to me about, so what you gonna do with the fellowship money? Shh, probably owe somebody.
Mr. Carr, she's having complications. Her kidneys are shutting down. She keeps taking her feeding tube out, and she's not responsive to any voices. I'm afraid it's time to
Take her off! If she's dying, why should I expedite it? I stepped in, do you understand? What must I be feeling since you know so much? I couldn't do it. I mean, it would have really set me off. I would have felt like, you murderer! So, that was 3 weeks ago. 21 days. No break. And Cliff is Got my duffel bag, and back to my locker. Put on my uniform. I told myself that I was going to see Myra. I normally would go to see her at 6:30 on any morning that I had off. I tell myself I'm working for her. Oddly enough, my flight departs at 6:30. I'll see her face. I'll get some peace while she just sleeps in. I won't get to come home, take a shower, get in bed behind her, wrap my arms around her, and just breathe with her. So imagine you're preparing for ascension. You take off. You start climbing, and as you climb, the blue sky starts turning dark and uninviting. You reason it away. You think it's all in your head. And your timing is off. A storm is brewing. And you're missing the little things, little slight variations and details that make the difference between success and failure. There's nothing major in your mind. You're just slightly off.
Air traffic control to Alpha 42699, caution. Wake turbulence ahead.
Air traffic control, this is Alpha 42699. Can you repeat? Dead. Tried to squawk the transponder. Nothing. But the storm had demagnetized my instrument panel. But I knew I had plenty of fuel. I just needed to get above the ceiling, the clouds. And just as I thought that, my mind wandered off. I saw her face in the flash, and I froze. She was angry. And just then, another plane descends out of the clouds just above me. The other pilot and I lock eyes, both banking hard, trying to avoid hitting each other. I gotta do this right. Our wings clipped. And when I looked out, I could see his plane was intact. But to my left, I could see I was smoking. Fuselage rudder knocked off. So essentially now I'm flying with one wing. You gotta try to turn around. But before I do that, I gotta see if I can't get above the storm, get my instruments back. So I pull back as hard as I can and air traffic control, anybody? I can't hold it. I'm losing it. We're going down. 80 people made it. 30 families were saved. They say I landed the plane, the belly of the plane on a hill about 1.5 miles from where I took off. Found me in the captain's cabin about 600 yards away. Now, both me and Myra can rest permanently off